Hi, this is Chad Coker from Apple Tree Automotive, and today on our web series we're going to show you how to install electronic ignition module in a 009 distributor. Over here is a stock 009 distributor that at current state has points and condensers and stuff. Now the points and condensers have a tendency to fail, so the point of an electronic ignition module is going to be to eliminate that failure possibility. Now you have a couple options when it comes to installing these. First of all, this distributor from EMPI already has a Magfire style ignition module put in, which is a simple install and two wires. You've got a black that's going to go to your coil negative and a red that's going to go to your coil positive. Now this is really important with these, that these wires go to the right spot, because these pickups are fairly sensitive, and any kind of spark or voltage spike will wipe these modules out. Now the best thing to do in starting this project out is obviously disconnect your battery so there's no voltage flowing through your system. Even if you've got a key, it is still a good idea to disconnect the battery. The other option that we have is the Pertronics model, which is made in the US. Same thing as this 009 from EMPI, except this one uses a igniter 2 module in it, which is a little hotter, lets a little more voltage go through, and also controls your dwell. Now if you've already got a distributor and you don't want to replace it with one of these already ready to go units, we're going to work on this stock unit out of the car. Now the stock unit, if you take it out, the first thing we do is we're going to take the cap off with the clips on the side, and they do come off difficult. We're going to take that off. Now we've got the rotor, which is something that we're going to retain, so we're going to pull that off and set that aside as well, and the dust cap. Now that we're down to this point, we're going to take a second and show you the options that you have for picking out your electronic ignition module. This module I have right here is from EMPI. It's a Magfire style, and it works with a 3-ohm coil. Real nice unit. You've got your magnetic pickup ring for the center, and this is your module. And the same thing as with the distributors. This is your red and your black wire that are sticking out over here. This is the same part that's in that kit. Now as far as Pertronics goes, you have a couple different options. One is going to be an igniter 2 module, which is, like I said, controls your dwell and lets more voltage come through. You've got the standard Pertronics kit, which still uses a 3-ohm coil and does not control the dwell. When you call to order these, any of the kits that you buy, make sure that you decide if your distributor is vacuum advanced or mechanical advanced, because that'll be very important for the kit that you put in. Now, you can see clearly if it's a vacuum advanced. You will have a big vacuum canister on the side of this that'll tell you right away which one you have. If you don't have that vacuum canister, then you have mechanical. So we're going to go ahead and take this distributor a little further apart by taking out the points. Set them aside. Take out your condenser. You will not need these parts anymore. Now that your distributor is down to a bare shell, we'll go ahead and decide which one of these kits we want to install. In this example, we've decided to use the Pertronics Igniter 1 module, which has the same wiring setup: red for positive on the coil, black for negative on the coil. One of the first things we're going to want to do is take our module and slide the wires through the square hole that your condenser wire just came out of. And they're a tight fit, so just keep working them until they go in. And pull them through. And you'll see they give you a rubber seal right there, which will pop into place. We're not going to set that up yet because we want to get that up and out of the way to put our center collar in. Now this collar has a hole in it that'll bolt this right back down to the stock point location. So slip that in, line up your hole. Now, since it's a little bit different, they give you a screw with a beveled edge. Don't use your stock point screw because it won't sit down flush. Take your Phillips screwdriver and tighten that guy into place. Now on this one there's no point gap to set, there's no dwell to figure out. It's really just bolted into place and you're ready to go. And pull your wires through. And don't pull on the wires when you try to pull the rubber boot into place. Pull on the boot itself, otherwise these will pull out of the pickup module. Alright, now we've got that in. Slide your wires out. Give yourself some room for the magnetic ring. Now this magnetic ring is made out of plastic, and even though it looks round, it's actually got flat spots inside. And that'll index on your distributor drive, and it does go on difficult. So don't force it on, and if it doesn't start sliding down, you've probably got the flat spots misaligned. So slide it down till it clicks, and there you've got it. Now the next step is going to be putting your dust cap back on, putting your stock rotor back into place, and putting your cap back into place. Now remember, on the caps they have a nub that sticks out that indexes itself right in the side of the distributor. Squeeze your clips up and on so they lock, and you're ready to go. Again, red goes on the positive, black goes on the negative of the coil. Real simple setup. Now when you get this done, the next important step is to make sure that you've got a proper coil to go along with this kit. Since this is an Igniter 1 coil, or igniter kit, we're going to want to use a 3 ohm resisted coil. Now you've got a couple options on coils. Your stock Bosch blue coil is 3 ohms resisted. So this right here will work just fine if this is what you have on there. Be aware that there are coils out there that are Bosch and they're blue, but they are not 3 ohm resisted. You'll want to look at the label on the front and make sure that it has 3 ohms. Otherwise, take your meter and touch your post and do an ohm check and see if you have 3 ohms. If you don't, it'll send way too much current through this module and will fry it. This is one of the most common things that wreck these, is people installing it with too hot of a coil. Now if you were to get the Igniter 2 module, this is a whole different game. This will allow you to run a coil with 0.6 ohms resistance, not so important on the resistance anymore, and that's one of the nicer things about the Igniter 2, is it allows you to run that hot coil. These are the Pertronics brand coils. You've got epoxy filled and oil filled, and they come in different ohm ratings and different finishes. This is a chrome 0.6 ohm. This is a black 3 ohm. These will not work with this, but this Bosch blue coil will. This is a great combination right here. Again, make sure that your battery's been disconnected before you hook these up, and once you hook these up, you're ready to go.